I just spent 6 hours wandering Souq Waqif after dark, got kicked out of a shop, got lost 3 times, and discovered why everyone who visits during the day is doing it completely wrong. Let me show you what happens when the sun goes down. Okay, so here's what you need to know about Souq Waqif. Everyone tells you to visit during the day. All the travel guides, all the blogs, they all say the same thing. Go during the day when it's busy and vibrant. But here's what nobody tells you. The day crowd? It's 90% tourists. The real Souq Waqif, the one where locals actually shop and hang out, that happens after sunset. So I decided to test this. I showed up at 3 p.m. during peak tourist hours, walked around for an hour, then came back at 7 p.m. after dark. And it was like visiting two completely different places. The crowds, the prices, the vibe, the people, everything changed. And by the end of the night, I understood why locals avoid this place during the day. Let me walk you through exactly what I discovered hour by hour. I arrive at 7 p.m. right after sunset. And the first thing I notice is the temperature. During the day, Souq Waqif is brutal. It's an outdoor market with minimal shade. And in summer, it can hit 45 degrees. But at 7 p.m., it's 28 degrees. Suddenly, walking around isn't torture. It's actually pleasant. The second thing I notice is the crowd. During my afternoon visit, the main walking path was packed. Shoulder-to-shoulder tourists, tour groups blocking pathways, everyone taking the same photos. At 7 p.m., maybe 30% of that crowd. And most of them are locals. Qatari families, expat residents, people who actually live here. The energy is completely different. Less frantic, more relaxed. People are actually shopping, not just taking photos and leaving. But here's what really surprised me about the night transformation. The shops change. I'm walking down this alley I'd walk down during the day, and shops that were closed in the afternoon are now open. Specifically, there's this whole section of fabric and textile shops near the old wooden doors that literally don't open until 6 p.m. I ask one of the shop owners why. He tells me, daytime is for tourists who just look. Evening is for customers who actually buy. And he's right. I watch him negotiate with a Qatari woman over some traditional fabric. Real business, real transaction. Not the performative, we're shopping for the camera stuff you see during the day. This is when the souk actually functions as a market. Okay, so around 8 p.m., I'm getting hungry. And during the day, I'd walk past all these restaurants on the main square. The ones with the big signs, the tourist menus in English, the waiters standing outside trying to get you to come in. Those places are packed during the day. At 8 p.m., half empty. Because the locals aren't eating there, I start wandering deeper into the souk, past the main tourist area. And tucked in this corner near the Gold Souk, there's this tiny restaurant. No English menu, no fancy sign, just plastic chairs and a grill. I walk in and it's full. All Qatari men, all eating the same thing. I sit down and the guy running it doesn't even give me a menu. He just asks, chicken or lamb? I say chicken. 10 minutes later, he brings me a plate of machboos. Now here's the thing about machboos. It's the Qatari dish. Spiced rice with meat, cooked with dried limes and baharat spice blend. And this version? Incredible. The rice is perfectly cooked, the chicken is falling off the bone, there's this smoky flavor from the grill. I'm eating with my hands like everyone else and I realize this is the meal I should have had on day one in Qatar. Not the overpriced tourist restaurants. This. How much did it cost? 25 riyals. That's $7 for a full meal that could feed 2 people. Compare that to the main square restaurants where a similar dish is 60 to 80 riyals because they know tourists will pay it. This is the real value of Souq Waqif at night. The actual local spots become obvious because that's where everyone's eating. After dinner, I decide to explore the back sections of the souk. And this is where things get interesting. The souk during the day has a pretty clear flow. You follow the main paths, see the main shops, and you're done. At night, the alleyways feel different. Less crowded means you can actually turn down random corners and explore. So I do. I'm walking deeper into the souk, turning down alleys that look interesting, and suddenly, I realize I have no idea where I am. I can't see the main square. I can't see any landmarks. I'm just surrounded by closed shops and dark passages. And for a second, I'm thinking, okay, this was a bad idea. Then I turn a corner and find this whole section I didn't know existed. It's the bird and pet market area. And at night, it's active. There are shops selling falcons. Yes, actual falcons, traditional hunting birds. There are cages with exotic birds I don't recognize. And there are locals here, serious buyers talking to sellers about breeding and training. I stop at one shop, and the owner starts explaining falcon hunting traditions to me. How it's been part of Qatari culture for centuries. How some of these birds cost tens of thousands of riyals. How training a falcon takes years. I'm standing there for 20 minutes just listening, and I realize I would have never found this during the day. I would have been stuck in the tourist flow, seeing the same shops everyone sees. But at night, with smaller crowds, you can actually wander and discover these pockets of real local culture. Eventually, I find my way back to the main area, but that detour was the highlight of my night. Around 9:30 p.m., I'm walking through the textile section, and most of the tourists have left. The souk is quieter, and shop owners are more relaxed. I stop at this antique shop, and the owner, his name is Mohammed, he's sitting outside drinking tea, not trying to sell me anything, just relaxed. I ask if I can look around. He waves me in. The shop is packed with stuff. Old coffee pots, traditional daggers, vintage Qatari textiles, pearl diving equipment, things that look actually old, not the antiques you see in tourist shops that were made last month. I'm looking at this old wooden chest, and Mohammed comes over and tells me it's from a Bedouin family, probably 1940s or 50s, used for storing valuables during desert travels. Then he tells me something interesting. He says, during the day, I get tourists who want to take photos and haggle for fun. At night, I get people who actually care about what these things are. And he's right. The vibe is different. During the day, shopping at Souq Waqif feels like a performance. Everyone's haggling even when they don't want to buy anything, just for the experience. At night, it feels like actual commerce. People ask real questions. Vendors give real information. I spent 30 minutes talking to Mohammed about the history of pearl diving in Qatar, how it was the main economy before oil, how these old tools are becoming rare. I don't buy anything, but I learn more in that conversation than I did reading any guidebook. And that's the value of nighttime Souq Waqif. Access to actual knowledge and real interactions without the tourist circus. By 10 p.m., I'm exhausted from walking. And I remember someone mentioning there are traditional tea shops in the souk. During the day, I didn't see any that weren't full of tourists. But at 10 p.m., I find this place. It's in a corner near the spice souk. Low lighting, traditional cushioned seating, the smell of cardamom and shisha in the air. I walk in and it's full of local men. Qatari guys in thobes, expats, everyone just sitting and talking. I sit down and the waiter brings me a menu. It's all Arabic. I point at something random and hope for the best. What arrives is karak chai, traditional spiced tea with milk and cardamom, and it's perfect. Strong, sweet, warm. I'm sitting there, watching the scene, and I realize this is what I came to Qatar for. Not the skyscrapers or the luxury hotels or the tourist attractions. This. A local tea shop at 10 p.m. where people are just existing. Talking, laughing, drinking tea, smoking shisha. No performance, no tourism, just normal life. The tea costs 5 riyals. The atmosphere is priceless. I sit there for 40 minutes, just people watching and enjoying the vibe. And when I finally leave, I understand why locals tell you to visit the souk at night. It's not about seeing different things. It's about seeing the same things without the tourist layer obscuring everything. Alright, so let me break down the actual differences between day and night at Souq Waqif. because this matters if you're planning your visit. Temperature. Day, 40 to 48 degrees Celsius, brutal. Night, 25 to 30 degrees, pleasant. Crowds. Day, hundreds of tourists, tour groups, packed. Night, mostly locals, maybe 30% of the day crowd. Prices. This is important. At the tourist restaurants during the day, meals are 60 to 80 riyals. At the local spots at night, 25 to 30 riyals for the same food. Vibe. Day, everyone's rushing, taking photos, not really engaging. Night, relaxed. People are actually shopping and eating, not performing for cameras. Shop selection. Day, main tourist shops are open, everything is geared toward quick sales. Night, local shops open, fabric stores, serious antique dealers, the shops that do real business. Now here's my honest recommendation. If you only have time for one visit, go at night. Start around 6:30 p.m. right after sunset. The temperature drops, the crowds thin, and you have 3 to 4 hours to explore before everything closes around 10:30 or 11 p.m. What to prioritize at night? The food. Find the small local restaurants in the back alleys. Ask where locals eat, not where tourists eat. The result will be better food at half the price. The shops. With fewer crowds, you can actually talk to shop owners and learn things. Mohammed's antique shop isn't in a guidebook, but those are the places you want to find. The atmosphere. Just sit at a tea shop and watch. That's the real experience. What to skip? The main square restaurants. They're tourist traps. The big souvenir shops on the main path. Overpriced and low quality. The rush. Don't try to see everything in an hour. The whole point of nighttime Souq Waqif is slowing down. Okay, real talk. Is Souq Waqif at night a must-do? Yes, 100%. This is the single best way to experience local Qatari culture in Doha. But it's not perfect. By 10:30 or 11 p.m., most shops start closing. If you show up too late, you'll miss things. The souk is very safe, but it's also a maze. You will get lost. Have your phone charged and use maps if needed. Some areas are poorly lit. Bring a flashlight on your phone and watch your step in the narrow alleys. During Ramadan, the whole vibe changes. The souk is packed at night during Ramadan because everyone breaks fast together. If you're visiting during Ramadan, expect crowds even at night. But here's what makes it worth it. This is where you see actual Qatari life. Not the tourist version, not the Instagram version. The version where people are shopping for fabric for their daughter's wedding dress. Where old men drink tea and argue about politics. Where falcon traders do serious business. Where you can eat incredible food for $7. This is the Qatar that most tourists never see because they show up at 2 p.m., walk the main path, take their photos, and leave. Don't be that tourist. Come at night. Wander. Get lost. Talk to shop owners. Eat at the local spots. Spend 3 or 4 hours just existing in the space. That's when you'll actually understand what Souq Waqif is. So, I spent 6 hours wandering Souq Waqif after sunset. Got kicked out of a shop because I tried to photograph falcons without asking. Got lost in the back alleys for 20 minutes. Ate the best Qatari food of my entire trip for $7. Had a 30-minute conversation with an antique dealer about pearl diving history. Drank tea in a local spot where I was the only tourist. And realized that everyone who visits this place during the day is missing the entire point. Souq Waqif at night isn't just cooler and less crowded. It's the real version. The version where locals actually use this place as a market. Where you can have real interactions and real experiences instead of just taking photos and leaving. If you're planning a Qatar trip, put Souq Waqif at night on your must-do list. Start at 6:30 p.m. Bring a charged phone for maps. Dress modestly and just wander. Don't rush it. Don't follow a plan. Just explore and see where you end up. You'll find things that aren't in any guidebook, and that's the whole point. If this changed how you're planning to visit the souk, drop a like. If you have questions about Souq Waqif or Qatar, Leave a comment and I'll answer everything. Hit subscribe for more honest Qatar content that shows you what it's actually like, not just the tourist version. Next video, I'm testing whether Doha's public beaches are actually worth visiting. Spoiler, the answer surprised me. See you there.